Alright, we are again. We're just gonna get right into it. I usually let the music play, do a little, uh, kind of getting in the groove of the music and, taking from a little bit of, Tariq, Nasheed, and some other radio stations, but I'm not doing that right now. I'm gonna get right into this because, it was just on my mind as I was driving. I've been kind of doing a lot of driving around the area, doing some repair work here and there. So it's allowed me to just kind of move around a little bit to different areas. But one thing I noticed, right, it's like it's so blatant, that just pointing it out. I'm pretty sure people realize it because. What I have come to encounter is that a lot of people understand a lot of things that are going on. They understand it, but they're just like, well, that's just the way it is, and so what? But I take it. Forgive me, I'm eating. I just bought like the best looking grapes ever in the planet, or I've ever seen for a long time. I still don't like the fact that they're seedless grapes. They're green seedless grapes. I'm used to eating the grapes with seeds in it. And I know, it hasn't been modified. But they're still good, though. But I got these from Kroger. And they're like the best looking and best tasting grapes ever. It's like, wow. This is what it used to be like, I want to say like 20 years ago. 25 years ago when I first was paying attention to this stuff when I was a kid, growing up in Decatur, Georgia, Stone Mountain, Georgia, right? On the Decatur side. But I didn't buy these grapes from that location. I bought these grapes from, I think it's in Gwinnett County's 5-4 Trickham area, which is a very nice area, right? But this is kind of the point where I was getting to about the different areas. Like there's a distinct difference in every area that you go to, the different areas you go to, especially when you go from prominently so-called white areas to prominently so-called black areas, right? Now, and I'm not saying all black areas are bad. I've been to some areas of predominantly black people that everything was nice. It was tip-top. It was tip-top, And I've been to some white areas that are, kind of dirty. But not too shabby, not too bad. But see, I think that's the real difference, though. And I've been to some, white areas that are really, really nice. And then I've been in some black areas that have been really bad, right? But one thing I look at, I look around and I look at the cars that are being driven, or the cars that are in the area, right? When I'm in like really prominent white areas, for one thing, I don't necessarily see a lot of fancy cars like, BMWs and Maseratis. And Lexuses and I think if I just say BMWs, Mercedes Benz, the fancy cars, right? What's interesting, I don't see a lot of those fancy cars. I don't see a lot of those fancy cars. Now, what I do see, I see a lot of family cars. I see a lot of Toyotas and Hondas, American cars, Chryslers and Fords and things like that, Mustangs. But all the cars that I see, none of them are beat up. Like, none of the cars are beat up at all. Like, you don't see no cars with no broke windows. You don't see any cars that are, got a big smash on the side of it. You don't see any cars, you know, that are just dirty looking cars. Like, it's really odd. Forgive me again, I'm hungry. These grapes are good. But I didn't see any of that stuff when I'm at this Kroger shopping center. Like, I saw nothing like that. All the cars were good. They all had tires on them. You know, and they weren't all brand new cars, but the cars looked good. Everything looked like decent. Just like, what the hell, right? When I go back to the neighborhood where I live in, you got cars that are all beat up. Cars different colors. Windows smashed out. Tape on the side of them. Spare tires. Broken headlights. All kind of crazy stuff, right? I'm just like, man, that is a distinct difference. And then when I go to shop in that Kroger, I bet y'all never find any grapes like these grapes in there. These grapes are fabulous, right? And it's just like the selection. They got a better selection of some of the foods. And it almost makes you think that everything is better in the so-called white neighborhood, right? But I know the truth is it's all an illusion. It's all an illusion that they put in front of people. I mean, you guys understand, they are tricking you, making you think it's such a better area because it looks better, right? You know, looks don't necessarily mean it's good on the inside. You know, if you want to go back to the apple that Eve ate, the apple probably looked like the best damn apple ever. I'm just going back into their fictitious shit. Because I don't believe all that craziness anyway, but I don't believe it was a so-called physical apple that she ate or whatever it was. It was more, there's more to it than that. It's more of a science than anything. But I'm just saying, I'm sure that apple looks so great. It was like, oh my gosh, this is like the best. I've never seen an apple so, it's a glowing apple, and they eat it, you know? And then what was inside was all that stuff that was supposedly bad anyway. Saying that, you know, knowledge and like I said, I don't agree with that, but with that analogy, showing that things that look good aren't necessarily good, right? I mean, you can be in a neighborhood like that, a nice so-called white neighborhood, you know, and like, you know, 12% of the population are pedophiles, or, you know, or they're meth heads, or they're you know, drug dealers, scammers, you know, heavy smokers. You know, there's just a lot of other things that you just don't see. But it gives you the illusion that everything is wonderful and pristine and better than where you're at. You know, and that's like you go to the black neighborhood. Everything looks so-called bad and dirty and nasty and, you know, just like, oh man, I can never shop over here, you know what I mean? But some of those places have the best food, the best people that work there, the best service, you know, good, decent people, you know what I mean? But the illusion is that they're all dirty and bad and evil, and, you know, black parents want to, you know, kill you or something like that. Or you go into their neighborhood, right? And then, you know, the misconception with the food as well. Like, these grapes, I mean, it could be really good, but they could have put some shit in that. This is great for the white people, you know what I mean? Try to keep them alive. I don't even know. I'm just saying, because, you know, they do a lot of shit like that that we're not paying attention to. Stuff that goes on underneath or behind the scenes, right? Where's my level at? Oh. But I just want to talk about that real quick. Just, you know, that was just kind of on my mind. You know, I started to did a little meditating the other night, so I think that's good for me to do. I know it's great for me to do. I need to meditate every day, but if I can't, I need to meditate at least 4 times a week, at least 3 times out of the week. Or, you know, a certain amount of times over a certain amount of period. Like, you know, because I'm trying to get out of the talking like weeks and months and You know, I'd rather do like days because, you know, a day is you can calculate, you can measure a day. You can measure a day better than you can measure like a week or a year or a month. Because when you start talking months, you know, especially on the Gregorian calendar, you get so out of whack with the 12 months and, you know, with 13. You know, and the people understand, you know, I was, you know, talking with my little cousin. She understands that, but she just goes by what they tell her. That this is this and then. She knows that that the months aren't right. That there's 28 days in one month and 30 in the next and 30 and 31. So she understands that. You know, I told her that's why women who count on the month, on the Gregorian calendar, on a 12-month cycle, their period cycle is always off. Because they're trying to count every month, but it's every 28 days. So they can never really pinpoint it. Never really predict it. I mean, think about it. They do birth control pills. It's every 28 days, you get 28 pills. So, you know, obviously they know that the cycle is 28 days. Not 30, not 31, not 27. I mean, it's an exact thing because you have to understand, like, everything is science. Everything is geometry, right? Everything is light. It's all a science that has been perfected. You know, so it's been perfected, and you know that it's been perfected because that's how we're still here. Or that's how we even come into the world. I mean, because the science has already been discovered and made and known. So when you come into the world as you want to look or as you're supposed to look because the science is already there. Excuse me. If it wasn't an exact science, you know, we might come out as blobs, or we might come out like as a tree, or we might come out, you know, as a light bulb or some shit like that. I'm just saying, you know what I mean? Like, it is a science that is an exact science, and that's why we come out the way we don't come out looking like a skunk, and we don't come out looking like a rock or something. You know, there's a formula for all that. You know, and that's why we come out the way we come out, because that science has been perfected. You have to look at it like that. Oh, I'll try here. And but the perceptions, when you go to different places, different things, everything looks different. But then again, and then some things look exactly the same. You know, but all that's done on purpose. It's a science that they're trying to perfect. The science that the white supremacists are trying to perfect, and they're pretty damn good at it. They're really damn good at it, because if I'm going to a Lowe's in Norcross, but I decide I want to go to a Lowe's in, let's say I go to a Lowe's in Florida, they look exactly the damn same. Everything's the same. There's only slight differences here and there depending on the area that they're in, so they can cater to those types of people, or cater to that illusion that they're portraying, or they're propagandizing. I don't know how to say it. I'm going to say they use for propaganda. I mean, that's what the deal is, though. If you're looking at it, you got to pay attention to what's going on. Like, I'm in a different area right now, closer to my area, and I see the cars that are around me. I see more working trucks than anything at the moment. I don't see any fancy cars at all. You know, I see rims, cars with rims, stuff like that. I see, look like working people, got stuff in their cars, people moving. So I'm just looking at the area, but, you know, that's what I see, though. You know, when I'm in the fancy white people area, I don't see any cars with rims. You will not see a damn car with rims. You will not see a car with rims. Because they don't do that shit. You know what I mean? They leave that for us so we can spend our money on having rims. I don't know why you need any damn rims. I have no idea why. I mean, the car comes with rims, so... You know what I mean? The car comes with rims on it, so you need fancy, bigger rims? Why? I don't know. Just some kind of thing that's been programmed to our mind for us to believe that is our culture. Just like you go into some areas, you see the big trucks with the big shocks on them that they're kind of raised up. You know, the so-called redneck boys are doing that because that's what's been brainwashed or downloaded in their programming to believe that that is part of their culture, right? Because see, American culture has been created. It's been created for us by the white supremacists. You know what I mean? We're trying to get back to your culture, but they ain't taking your culture and hidden away and called it a mystery. So now you don't have a culture, but they're going to give you your culture. They're going to tell you, well, this is your culture. This is what you do, black man. This is what you do, white man. This is what you do, Asian man. Because I'm telling you what you're going to do. You know what I mean? They're going to open up Chinese restaurants and serve bullshit ass food, but everybody's gonna buy it because we tell them that it's authentic. And you put that on your time. You got Mexican people back there cooking that shit. You know what I mean? Mexican people back there cooking it. You know? Blacks back there cooking it. Koreans. And you call it Chinese food. You got them bringing up all these Taco Bells, tell these Mexican people, hey, look, this is where you're gonna open up a taco place, because I say you sell tacos, and everybody knows damn well Mexicans don't eat tacos, man. They don't eat tacos like that. That's an American thing that's made up. You know, they tell the black person, oh, you're gonna open up this soul food restaurant because that is your culture, is soul food, knowing good and damn well that black people, we never ate food like that. We didn't eat meat like that and fried everything and grilled everything. You know, we had a really basic diet that consisted more of alkaline foods, less meat. You know, but that's what the black culture is now. Fried chicken and watermelons, fried chicken and waffles. Oh, black-eyed peas, collard greens, yams, corn on the cob, cornbread, chitlins, and then every year you eat turkey and have dressing and cakes and pies. You have to eat till you can't eat anymore, because that is your culture. That's what white supremacy says your culture is. And then you wait for Christmas to come, because you got to celebrate Christmas, celebrate the birth of Jesus Christ, and we know the day that they put is supposed to be the birth of Jesus Christ, where we celebrate Christmas. That's not even the day that this so-called man was even born. Excuse me. But the white supremacists say, well, this is what you're going to celebrate, and this is what you're going to believe, because this is what we tell you what the deal is. This is what we say. Is how we run it. And if you have a problem with it, we'll help you get to the point. To the point, the source is that you're going to do what we tell you to do. I apologize. We're going to do what you're going to do what we tell you to do, and I don't care if you have a problem with it. But it don't matter. I mean, white supremacy is in everything. You just have to understand that and know that. But it is an illusion that they keep portraying and putting out there to everybody. I mean, how many, when you're going around your neighborhoods and driving around, how many new buildings you see they're being built in the black areas? How many new buildings do you see? How many new establishments you see them building in the black community. I mean, your situation is different, then that's fine. But for the majority, the most part, you don't see them building new buildings and stuff like that in the black community. You don't. You only see them building that in the so-called white community. And they're building all kind of buildings and shit. You're just like, damn, where are they getting all this money from? Well, okay, well, you know where they're getting the money from. It's their money anyway, so they're doing whatever the hell they want. See, another thing I do notice also in the black community, you see a lot of people driving Mercedes Benzes, BMWs, brand new cars, rims, all kind of decorative stuff. You see them driving the go-karts, not the go-karts. I mean the well, I wouldn't say mopeds, but the dirt bikes and the four-wheelers. I mean, you see that shit, and it's like, okay, you don't see that in the white community. So what image are they trying to put in front of your face? What are they trying to say? I mean, are they trying to say that, us black people, we're just, what's the word they call it, ghetto? So you want to drive a dirt bike? I don't see nothing wrong with driving a dirt bike. Hell, that shit is probably fun as fuck. You know what I mean? I don't see nothing wrong with driving a four-wheeler. I don't see anything wrong with driving, a BMW or a Benz or, a car with big-ass rims. I just don't see the point when you're living in a neighborhood that's all broke down and dirty and, it's just not a good living condition, but people are driving around in BMWs and Benzes, right? Like, your car knows probably more than your rent. Just like, that doesn't make any sense. You go buy rims that cost more than, putting that money into your child's for their future. You know what I mean? They help them to get some kind of real understanding and not this college bullshit. You know what I mean? Like, I see that. Just like, I mean, you're putting that money away to build your child a house. You know what I mean? So they don't have to buy a house. You can build that shit. You know what I mean? So when they get ready, hey, you got a house you can stay in already because I built it for you. You know what I mean? I'm just saying. I saw an ad on off-road. This guy's got an engine that he built from scratch, right? A Honda motor. He says his wife is pregnant, so he wants to sell the engine to make plans for a child. I'm just like, well, how about this? Instead of trying to sell that engine that you put all that work into, I mean, this is just my opinion. I'm just saying, instead of taking that engine and selling it, you know what I mean, for $4,000 or $5,000, which you may get, you may not get, why don't you keep that engine, keep working on it, get it running good, find a body for that car, and work on getting that car together for your child, your daughter, or whatever, the boy or girl, so when that child gets of age, you've already got a car for them that you hand built and made specifically to run great, and use your skills to do it, and you can teach your child that as well, how to do it, so when they don't have to go spend any money to get a car because you already did it for them. See, that's the kind of thinking that will help our children. It'll help us as well, because then we'll have a purpose for what we're doing. Because what we do affects everybody, and it really affects our children as well. You know what I mean? But that's what we're doing. We're doing it for our children. I mean, they didn't do the civil rights just for themselves. They were doing the civil rights, and Martin Luther King was doing it for his children and other children. So that things would change, right? We have to stop being so selfish. Well, we have to stop being so greedy. I put it like that. It's really greed. That's what it is. Greed and fear. Fear and greed. Because it's okay to be selfish. Selfish is good. Because when you're selfish, you think about yourself, right? And then when you think about yourself, that means that you'll think about others that are part of you, yourself. Because self is just not you, and you is just not you either. I think I explained this before. Like you is you. You are more than one. You are more than one. When you talk about you, you're talking about you talking about yourself. You're talking about your family. I mean, that's included because they're a part of you. It's all included. That's when you talk about self. You're talking about that whole entity, that whole thing that makes up your being. You know. I mean, you yourself, you are more than just one. I mean, you got many different bodies which come together to make one. You know, your family's included. When you take care of yourself, and you say you're selfish, you should be selfish. You should be selfish enough to take care of everything around you. But I think the thing that gets people is the greed and the fear. I mean, that guy's afraid that, oh my gosh, I'm having a child. It's going to cost so much money. If I don't sell this engine, I'm not going to have enough money for my baby, right? But he's greedy because he wants a lot for it. He probably didn't pay that much for it to do it. You know what I mean? Or maybe he did, but like, you know, I'm just like greed, right? So instead of being greedy and fear, you know what I mean? Keep that crap. Work harder for your job that's coming up, and you give that to them. And that's just something that they'll have that you did from your energy that you put into it, and it's gonna be it's gonna be for them in the future. I mean, that's what I look at it. You know, and I wish I would have looked at it like that before. You know, because I made some dumb stuff, did some dumb stuff, so I should have been making sure I should have been selfish enough and not greedy and fearful. You know, my daughter will have some more stuff, but it's okay. It's all good. I'm getting this shit together. I'm getting this shit together. I'm telling you, I'm getting this shit together. I don't have a lot of money, and I may never have a lot of money. But one thing I will have: peace, happiness, intelligence, and everything that I need, the Creator will provide and make a way for me to have it in abundance at all times. But that's what I believe. And that's what I focus on. You know, teach my daughter the same thing. And any child that I can teach, I will. Because they need to know these things. They definitely need to know these things, you know what I mean? Like, here's another situation. And I'm just talking about the illusions. These are all the illusions, right? All the illusions that they put in front of our head that tell you got to do this or you got to do that. You know, it's all illusions. And, wait, hold on. I got to make sure I make this turn. The beautiful sun is beaming down upon me. It's beautiful. I will not turn my eyes from it. I will stare into the sun because it is life and energy and it's good. The Creator made it. It's very good. There's my turn, Martinsburg. Okay. See, I'm good. Don't fear it. Love. Alright, so So I was putting a gate up for one of my family members, my cousin, and I keep thinking to myself, I was just like, why do they need a gate? I mean, we didn't give our daughter a gate. We had stairs when she was growing up. You know, she went up and down stairs, but you know, I was there with her. You know what I mean? I watched her every step of the way on those stairs, because I didn't want anything to happen. But also, I wanted her to learn how to go up and down the stairs. You know what I mean? But she never. But my wife wanted to get a gate for them. She was like, "Go get a gate for her. Get her a gate." I'm just like, "Why get a gate? I mean, she's not a dog. You know what I mean? She's a human being. You know what I mean? She can listen. You can tell her, just don't go up the damn stairs." I mean, that's what you're gonna say. Look, you don't go up the stairs without any of us around. And you don't go downstairs because you may fall. You know what I mean? And really hurt yourself. So you don't do it. You know, you don't do it. But like, this is like one of the things that we have to really get across to our children, because you can teach your children everything, and from an early age, when they're in the womb, you can teach them, and they will listen. But you know, you have to be stern with them and firm with them, and have patience with your child. And you have to talk to them like you talk to them like a normal person. No, none of that baby goo gaga goo goo talk. That's the way they're gonna talk. Because they listen and they pick up on everything that you do. You know what I mean? Because they're soaking up all that information and that knowledge and that energy. You know what I mean? Because all their cylinders are turned on. So they're operating at, you know, full functional abilities. You know what I mean? Much higher than ours. Because, you know, it hasn't been dumbed down. You know what I mean? They haven't been turned off. But I'm just like, why do you need a gate for your freaking child? Like I said, they're not a dog. You know, and I see them, they got little gates that have little dog entrances on them too. Hold on. Pardon me. See if I can. Music break. I will edit that. I'm going to edit that thing later. But anyway. Okay. Alright, we're back. Anyway, but I'm just like, yeah, I seen they have the gates, right? They have the little dog entrance on the gate. So you got a baby gate with a dog entrance. I'm just like, how does that work? A dog is a dog. A child is a child, not a dog, right? But they got to think of that child. They create the illusion that having a child is just like a dog, right? It's like, that's not the same damn thing. You know what I mean? You didn't give birth to that dog. Your blood is not running through that dog. Difference. But yeah, you don't need a gate for your child. You just tell us, look, don't go up the damn stairs. All right? Unless I'm here with you. And you don't go downstairs either. And it's a matter of watching the kids, right? So they have a babysitter that watches their kids. But I'm just like, if you talk to your kids beforehand, the babysitter wouldn't have any problems with your kids going up and downstairs, because they know not to go up the stairs and downstairs. They know that. You know? And Dr. Jewel Pookrum, she was really instrumental in the raising of my child, because she told me one thing that was very important. She said, the first year of that child's life, they need to have a place where they can do whatever they want to do in that space, in their space. There's some place in the house that is their own, that nobody can tell them what to do. It's their space, right? And some people say, "Oh, that's a child. The child can't do what they want." Yeah, a child can do what they want. They should be able to, because if they don't understand how they're supposed to have any freedom or have any kind of space to themselves so they can think and be them, then they'll never develop that part of themselves, because they'll always be controlled, so to speak, always being directed, and they'll have no sense of self-direction. They'll have no sense of selfishness, of being, yourself. You know what I mean? They won't be able to tell the truth from, the lie, because they were not able to understand that in themselves, right? So that's why that child needs that space to themselves, where they can do whatever they want to do in their own space. Nobody can tell them anything, so they can create and imagine and do all kind of wonderful, neat stuff in their own space. They need that. Everybody needs that. Because, they always tell you now as an adult, oh, I need some alone time. I got to get alone. I need some alone time. Okay, yeah, you need some alone time because you never got alone time as a child. So you don't know how to be alone with yourself even when you're in the midst of other people. Right? But that's what the child has to learn. And then from there, during the second year of that child's life, they need to be with the father. That father needs to be there to teach them what the rules are. The mother can help with the rules too, but it's the father's responsibility to teach with the rules. So she or he will understand the authoritative voice or the authoritative rules, so they understand about the spatial thing as well, because that's what the father's role is, to teach them about the space. So the child will not touch anything or do anything outside of their space without the permission of the parents. So you get this down pat, and you don't have to tell your child no. You will never have to tell your child no, because your child will ask before they do anything when they're outside of their space. And this is what my daughter does. This is what I taught my daughter. So when she goes over anybody else's house that's not her own, or any kind of space that's not her own, you know what she does? She asks for permission before she does anything. She asks because she knows she has to ask before she does anything, before she touches anything, before she goes anywhere. No, you ask permission before you move. And that way you don't have to worry about it, because now she knows that. But see, she'll take that with her all throughout her life. She'll ask permission, and it'll keep her all right. And then she'll know when she can and when she can't. But that's something that, she'll pass down to her children as well. But but this is so she understands the what is real and what's not real. You know what I mean? What's this? That's not nothing. I'm checking the mail now. Hoping for some checks. No checks. I gotta go out and make my money. But so that's what I want to talk about today. I just want to get into talk about I love Tariq. Tariq, she's awesome, chopping up some game. But I'm speaking truth. That's what I'm doing, speaking some truth. I'm just like, man, but that's what I see. That's what I observe, around. Just the illusion that they put around all these things, saying this, that, and the other, and oh, look at them, they're so much better, and they're not better. It's an illusion, man. Straight up illusion. I think Dr. Umar Johnson talked about the illusion of inclusion, and he was talking about how they say that word minority, right? The minority is supposed to include the minority is supposed to be the black people, but it's an illusion of inclusion because it includes everybody else but black people. Huh? You know what I mean? They even put gay people in the minority, and that's not even a race. And it goes to show you that black is not even a race either, or Mexican, or white, or Hispanic, or Asian. None of those are races. Because if they're races, then how can they include them all together? Again, inclusion The illusion of inclusion, right? That's what Dr. Umar was talking about, right? But, you know, he's right. I mean, because there's no way that they can include all that stuff as races when there is no such, then there is no common ground there. Like, especially as you put, like I said, especially as you put homosexuals in the class of a minority. That doesn't make any kind of sense at all. None. But feeling pretty good. I got a job at a fast food place, so I'll be working there. Did an interview today, so hoping to get that job, this little warehouse job in a food place, which is awesome. That'll be great for me to work there. I need to work there. I think I'll get that job. In the meantime, I'll keep working, keep studying. You know, I still talk about the Red Matrix, because Red Matrix, that's coming too. Even though this is episode 18, I didn't announce that at first. We just got right into it. But let me go back. So this is episode 18. This is WPDKIN10, episode 18. We're talking about the illusions. And this is David right here, a.k.a. Bishop Down, a.k.a. Jupiter James, a.k.a. the White Planetary Dog. Oh, look at that bird. That's kind of neat. Man, the universe is so wonderful. And all the stuff that man does, the things in the universe still survive. That they not even survive. I'm not even going to say it's even survivals. They thrive. They're thriving. You know what I mean? They try to talk about the endangered species and stuff like that. That's because they're killing them off. But if they let them alone, they'll thrive. No problem. Because the universe finds a way. Well, as that saying says, nature finds a way. And it's not nature finding a way. Nature already knows the way. Nature already knows the way. We are the ones that are confused. Confused by the illusions that we put out for ourselves. Craziness, man. But I gotta get some of these episodes up. I've been kind of lazy. So I'm gonna work on getting an episode up tonight. It'll probably be like episode 7. But I'm kind of ahead of myself. But I keep putting it out there. So, you know, as you know, I'm going through this journey. You know, the experiences can be shared as best they can, because it's really hard to share an experience unless you experience it for yourself. I used to have a habit of saying that, oh, I understand, I know what you're talking about, but I will never say that ever again unless I had that experience before, and then I can say, yes, I had a similar experience to yours, but I don't. I had a similar experience that you had. So that's all I would say. I'm not going to say I understand, because I can't understand your experience the way that you experience, because only you can understand that. But I had a similar experience that you had. That's all I'll say like that. I'll never say I understand anymore, because I'm still learning, and there's a lot of things that I do know, and a lot of things that I have experienced. And I can say there are some things that I do understand. I mean, I understand white supremacy, which is racism, and everybody should understand that, you know. But I understand that you also have to observe, you know. And this is for me, you know. You have to look and observe, and you know, I say it's for me, but I say it's for everyone as well, because, you know, I mean, we are like X-Men, man. We are like, you know, mutant superpowered humans. We have extraordinary abilities. But, you know, the problem is you haven't been taught to manifest those abilities. You've been taught to suppress them. So you have powers that you don't even know you have, because you've been taught to suppress them. Been taught that you're something else, that you come from an ape, when you don't. Now, some people do come from apes. There's some men or women or species that do come from apes. And they're intermixed and intermingled with us, right? There's some of them out here that are clones that don't have any souls. No souls at all. Hollow. They call them hollow men. Some out here that are mixed with animal DNA. But that's what it is, you know? But you wouldn't be able to know that unless you could see through the illusion. Alright, well, I gotta go back in. Had a full day's work today. Happy about doing some work, you know. Gotta continue to do this though. Alright. This is David. Oh, you know me. Anyway, I'll talk to you guys later. I want to say I love you very much. I respect you all. I love the universe. Take some time. Put your feet into the grass. Make sure you wash your feet when you come back in. You know what I mean? Feet might be a little grassy, smelly. You know, watch out for dog poop. Get some sun. Get some sun. Get some sun. Look into that sun. Look at the stars at night. Look at the moon cycle. Look at the moon every night and count the days from the new moon to the end, and it will be 28 days. Exactly. Count it for yourself. Look at the stars. Look at the planets up there. There's planets that you can see, visible from the eye. You can see these planets. Anyway, spend some time with nature. Spend some time with yourself, and treat everybody with justice, man. Treat each other with justice. All right, I'm out.